I'm a bit late with my blog this week, my vlog. Really try and get it filmed on either Thursday or Friday each week so I can actually talk about what I've actually done in the week. And today's Saturday for me, but in the US it's Friday. So I'll get this uploaded today and I'll just make my timeline that I set for myself each week. So what's been happening in the world of Missladypetal this week? Okay, I've been working on a lot of projects and I've only finished one of them. So I have a lot of things on the go. I actually haven't got any letter journals this week. So after getting that original influx of, like 3 or 4 a week, I've gone for an entire week where I've got none. And I'm sitting here going, gee, it feels strange. I haven't got any letter journals on my desk. I know a lot of people have got mine because they're letting me know. Because, of course, in our letter journal groups, I've got mentors now. And the mentors are doing, can I just say, my mentors are fabulous people. They are doing such a great job in organising and setting up communication chats and groups and emails with their swap partners, and I am amazed at how they have stepped up to the plate and how great they are with their communication and chat. Because when we have, if you have great communication before life hits, before things in life just come up for us, then there is already a conversation happening, and in that conversation you then feel comfortable to say without embarrassment, something's come up, I'm not going to be able to fulfill my commitments and I'm just going to post them on. And everybody in the chat completely understands, knows you've not held up the swap in any way. In fact, it'll probably get done quicker. And then the other swap participants, because of what's going on for you, they don't mind doing extra in the journal to get it finished. And what I've also found, and how sweet are our letter journal participants, I know of one case where there was a lady who'd been admitted to hospital, like really suddenly, and been there for quite some time, and they finally got in contact. Somehow there was some contact made with the rest of the group after a couple of months. And so what that group now are doing is they're organising the journals and they're sending get well cards to her, and they're trying to support her as best they can. Because, something like that, you can't blame the person. I mean, they're in hospital and they can't do anything. And they didn't know that was going to happen before the swap. So I just heard some awesome stuff this week. All our mentors have a chat group that we all talk to each other in now, and that is, you know what, should have done it months ago. I'm amazed at how awesome these people are, and all of the mentors that I assign, they are amazing people. Enjoy it. Enjoy your swaps. I'm actually in a swap at the moment, and I have a mentor, even though this is something that I administer, because I think it's really good for me as the creator of this project to get in and road test and see how all the things and strategies that I implement, how they work, so that I can then know that all of you out there are doing really well and having a great time, and that the systems that I've put in place work. So far, yay. And so some of the projects I've been working on this week, even though I haven't been working on letter journals. So I finished one journaling Krazy Island style upcoming video lesson, which took me days to complete because it was one of those prompts that I just did it, didn't like it, did it, didn't like it, did it again, loved it. and I went from doing and this particular prompt, I had a particular idea for the last 3 months what I was going to do, and then I just couldn't do it anymore. That was the way it goes. I just couldn't do it anymore, and I had to completely change my idea. And it's like, wow, sometimes when you think about when you're teaching someone and you have lessons prepared and stuff like that, then, you know, and then suddenly things change at the last minute. You've got to completely re-prepare, change your focus, your materials. For me, it was even the size of the paper and type of paper I was using. Like, it was just so many things changed. And I think as teachers, you know, you have to be fluid like that. And I'm hoping that the final version of what I wanted to do has turned out as good as what I think it has. We always have a little bit of self-doubt. I'm working on another Journey Crazy Island style page today, but I have another couple of projects on the go. So I've been chatting a lot to my friend Charles Albert Anthony, and he's a recently new friend that I've made through Facebook, and he's on Crazy Island Family, and that's how I met him. But he's a poet, and I tell you what, I love his poetry, and he calls them axioms because they're very short and they're not really long verses, and they have a particular format. Anyway, so he has written a few poems for a few of my girls and fairies and things that I've painted and drawn, because he's been having a look, because he's inspired by photos and pictures. And one of the reasons he joined KIF was because lots of photos of pictures and art, and it's a great wealth of fodder for him to think about creatively in his writing. Anyway, so we were having a chat one night on Facebook chat, and he said to me he thinks I'm like, with my chickens for charity project, so my little chicken cards are in, and if you haven't ordered any yet, go to my Etsy store, Missladypetal Creations. The chicken cards, this little girl Henrietta, she's $5, and I have Krazy as well for $5. Right, and then I have Penelope and Boris for $10. They are going out the door, and you know, every single cent that I raise actually goes to buy chickens for widows in India. But as something, and Charles was asking me about this project because he wrote a little poem about this little girl Krazy, and it was a really sweet, cute poem, and he actually was talking to me and describing to me about what he thought about what my work was and how I was working hard and using my gifts and talents to help those that were less fortunate. And you know, I'm just one small person, and I'm not looking to raise millions, or you know, like, I have a lot of respect for very well-known celebrities that raise a lot of money for people less fortunate. You know, they use their circle of influence and their celebrity to do good. I really admire people that don't just achieve those things for self-gain, but then use it for good. So he saw me as some kind of warrior on a horse blazing in to help these people, which I thought was just hilarious. And I then said, I'm going to do a journal page about that. And I haven't finished it yet, and I'm not filming it because it's just one of those things that I was chatting while I was doing it. Anyway, so this is the way it's turning out so far. Now, I by no stretch of the imagination actually look like this girl on the horse. And this is actually a printout of a magazine image, and I'm enhancing it as I go and changing it as I go. And I'm really, that's something that I'm working on at the moment, and I will show it posted on my Missladypetal Creations Facebook page, and also in Crazy Island Family when I'm finished. But it's one that I'm doing in landscape, and I don't do many pages in landscape because when I bind a book, obviously it's going to be on its side. So yeah, I don't do too many in landscape, but I'm kind of excited about this one because it's coming out of a poem and some thoughts with some creative thinkers, and it's amazing how different creative arts can impact yours, and I'm liking it. The other big thing I've been working on this week, apart from all that, is I'm working on my little niece Sarah's Christmas present. So this beautiful fairy, I haven't finished painting her yet, so she's not completely finished yet. But I've based it around the letter S because my niece's name is Sarah. And when I asked her mum about what colours I should do, well, she said, well, she's got a blue and white room and she's got a little bit of red in there as well, picking out. And I kind of said, well, okay, I've got some irises that I want to do, and they're like blue and purple. And I'll put some red or some deep pink crimson going into red in there to highlight it and do some different things. She's like, yeah, bingo. So that's gradually been taking shape during the week. And when you paint in watercolour like that, you often segment. You know, you can't do two spots next to the other that have different features because they'll run together when they're wet. So it takes a long time, and there's many layers of paint and inks in those flowers and actually the dress and everything else that's in there. It's not just one slap it down and paint it, it's layers and layers and layers to get that particular shading and grading that's according to my reference photos and things that I'm using to make that not perfectly realistic in any way, but you exactly know what it is when you see it. And you want it to be kind of in the style of the fairy. I mean, you're doing something that's mystical, and then you're putting something of this world into that. So yeah, it's a little bit different, that you want to kind of make the whole thing work. And it's not finished yet, so we'll see. By this time next week it will definitely be finished. I don't have too much more to do on it now. It's just those finishing touches and a ribbon border around inside that frame, and you know, that kind of thing. But that's taken me 5 days so far. Not whole days of work, just when I sit down at this work desk and I sit and work, it's taken like 5 goes. And then I work on other projects, like the other things that I've shown you and not been able to show you. I work on those as well whilst things are drying. So I rotate my projects around, and I work on probably 5 to 6 projects at any given time, depending on how quickly stuff dries. If I've got a project, quite often for this YouTube channel, I will sit down and I will film me doing a page from beginning to end, and I will speed it up and do stuff like that. Some of those pages only take like 40 minutes from go to woe, and because I'm speeding it up, I don't have to explain anything, I don't have to talk about anything. So when I work on stuff like that, and I choose to use mediums that dry fast or are drier, and they're not wet and take long times to dry and cure, then I can get my journal pages done much faster. But I'm working on a couple at the moment where I'm using particular types of mediums that take a long time to dry. I'm doing many layers on what I'm doing, and I guess when those of you that are on Crazy Island family and part of my my Missladypetal creations fans, and when I do the promos for some of these pages that I do, you'll understand when you see it. You might not understand how many layers are in it, but you'll understand that it's not easy to achieve that effect without doing lots of layers. And yeah, my son just came in. He's like, doesn't realize I'm filming. You get that though. Yeah. So yeah, so I've been working on a few things this week and contemplating. Started my business, got a business registration number, and registered my name, Missladypetal Creations. So now I'm official business, and that means that as I gradually go into that merchandising, a bit of the merchandising and stuff like that, then you know, you'll know that I'm actually not just a hobbyist that wants to sell their work. I'm actually a legitimate business moving forward, and I need to, you know, put some more energy into creating more of that. But because I run 3 other businesses and, you know, have 2 boys and sing and I have a very, very full life. And so these things, I think they take a bit of time. But, you know, be aware now that I am actually a legitimate business. But I am looking at some real designs. I've had some people say to me, I think your chicken should be made into stamps, and I'm looking at creating some stencils, and I'm just kind of going down that path of designing tools for art journalists who like my art. And I think that that's an exciting future, you know, where I can start sharing my art in different ways. So I love that. And I guess for me, what's looking for me this week? Well, I'm built my cabinets. So behind me I have, and these are 3 tiered, so this is the taller tier, and then it goes lower and lower again, but they all have like bins in them, and those bins, they're from IKEA, and those bins, they now hold all my happy mail and recycling and things like that. And I had this great big lovely table there, which was just like a folding table, but it was very tall and perfect for doing different types of crafts, but often just had, when I finished something here, I would throw it there. So now I'm being more organised. It means I have to clean up more. So I find I'm cleaning my space up more and not being quite as messy at the moment with some of the projects that I'm doing, and thinking about that before I, you know, like I've got 5 or 6 projects on the go, so I have to really think about what I have out and what I don't have out. And so it's just all those things that you go through and you morph with the growth of your studio. I mean, I don't have a huge studio, but I love my space. It's precious space, and reorganising all the storage and stuff in that is really important, so that I still have adequate space to actually be able to create and teach from here. Anyway, what funny things, has there been anything funny that's happened this week? Funny? You know what? A lot of that, you know, I haven't been in heaps of situations that are like funny this week. I think funny things, but telling you all about those funny things that I think are like, yeah. But see, I'm not, you know, sometimes I wish I could be like Shannon Green. She's amazing. She makes putting the trash out sound like some sort of 5-step comedy routine, which is a particular gift that woman has. She's so funny. But I can't honestly say that I've had that much fun putting my trash out this week. Trash, rubbish, garbage, all that. Oh, but I did see this hilariously funny video on YouTube, on my Facebook wall, that was about magpie season. So magpies are a black and white bird in Australia, and they're very prolific. It's their breeding season at the moment, and they dive bomb you. If you go anywhere near a tree that they're nesting in, they will dive bomb you, and they will literally go for your eyes or the back of your head, and they are actually considered the most lethal bird in Australia. So anyway, there was this funny video of this person trialing different things that they do with their helmets to try and deter magpies from attacking them. Anyway, so she stuck tree branches in there, and it's like great. You could see that the webcam that she had, the GoPro cam that was looking back on her face and back behind her, you could see all these magpies swooping behind her, but they would then leave. Anyway, she then painted eyes on the back of her helmet, which was hilarious, and she just got attacked and attacked and attacked and attacked, and they knocked her head so hard that her head was coming forward. And she was worried that they were going to attack her outside where the helmet was. And the screeches were just incredible. But the other thing that we do in Australia is we put cable ties and have them all sticking up out of the thing. Because apparently they won't attack those either, although I have no idea why. Maybe they think that they're like the branches and they're sticking out, and we're not really a person that's coming to steal the babies out of their nest, God forbid. that we actually would steal the babies out of a magpie's nest. But these are normally not annoying birds at all. And I'm fortunate in my street that we actually don't have birds that nest, magpies that nest anywhere near us in the street. Thank goodness. Not that I ride my bike a lot because I've got a really hilly area that I live in. But yeah, yay for me. No magpie attacks. But they are actually a lethal bird when they attack you like that. So that's why in Australia we come up with all these ingenious ways to deter magpies from attacking us as we go walk down the street or walk to school or ride our bikes. So that, I think that video was probably the funniest thing I've seen this week. I laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. And I should share it on my wall for those of you who are my friends on Facebook because it was hilarious. Okay then. I'm signing off for this week. Ciao for now. See you next week. Remember, learn something new today. It keeps you young.